Matilda Langford was a 21-year-old girl from Texas, raised in the embrace of wealth, comfort, and a life surrounded by faith. Her mother, Theresa Langford, was an affluent, devout woman who had dedicated much of her life to missionary work. Over the years, her influence reached across continents, helping impoverish villages and transforming lives through the spread of Christianity. Despite her success and devotion, Theresa remained a humble woman, often seen in modest attire, her eyes full of compassion for those she helped. Matilda, with her soft blonde hair, sky blue eyes, and flawless skin, had always been the object of admiration. Her radiant beauty, combined with her kindness, made her a cherished member of their small Texas community. She attended church with her boyfriend, Emmanuel, a fellow chorister who shared her passion for singing hymns and praising the Lord. Emmanuel, a tall, strong young man with a deep baritone voice, was seen as the perfect future husband for Matilda. They were inseparable, and the church congregation whispered that their union was inevitable. But Matilda, who had always been content in her small Texas world, had a different destiny waiting for her. The day she turned 22, her mother, Theresa, announced a decision that would change Matilda's life forever. "Matilda, it's time you join me on one of my missions. Africa is calling, and we can't ignore the needs there," her mother said, her voice full of conviction. Matilda was reluctant. Africa, a continent far away from the comforts of Texas, felt distant and overwhelming. She couldn't imagine leaving her family, her friends, and Emmanuel behind. But her mother, with her unwavering faith, insisted, "I need you, Matilda. You've always been my helper, and now you will see the world in a way that will change you forever." Theresa said, her gaze piercing. Against her wishes, Matilda boarded the plane to Africa with her mother. Their first destination was Ghana, a country in the west of Africa vibrant with culture, history, and a growing Christian population. They spent several months there, helping build churches, distributing food, and offering medical assistance to the needy. But it wasn't until they reached Nigeria that Matilda's world truly began to shift. Nigeria, with its vast landscapes, bustling cities, and complex cultural tapestry, was a land of beauty and contradiction. Matilda and Theresa found themselves in Bansara, a remote village situated on the northern side of the River State. The village was home to the Water Tribe, a people who revered the gods of the sea. Their religion was ancient, steeped in ritual passed down through generations, and their spiritual leader, Uko, was said to possess the power of the ocean itself. Uko's son, Ishor, was destined to follow in his father's footsteps. The village lived by the ebb and flow of the water, and the people believed that the sea held the key to their very existence. As soon as Matilda and her mother arrived, they were greeted with suspicion. The village elders were wary of outsiders, especially of foreign religions that threatened their deeply held beliefs. Matilda and Theresa, with their gentle approach and unwavering faith, asked to meet with the king to present their mission. The king agreed, but he requested that Uko and his son, Ishor, attended the meeting to offer their wise counsel. When Matilda first saw Ishor, it was as if time itself had stopped. Ishor stood at the entrance of the royal palace, tall and imposing, with dark, intense eyes that seemed to pierce through her very soul. His skin was the color of polished ebony, his jaw strong, and his body was sculpted by years of physical labor and training. He was the epitome of strength, yet his presence was serene, almost otherworldly. His hair was thick and black, pulled back into a knot at the nape of his neck, and his clothes, simple and made of woven cloth, added to his mystique. Matilda's breath caught in her chest. She had seen handsome men in Texas, but none like him. His presence radiated power, wisdom, and something else, something that called to her heart. Soon, both Ishor and Matilda were asked to excuse themselves and wait in the corner while the older folks deliberated. As they stood, the air around them seemed charged with something electric. The sounds of the outside world faded, and the only thing that mattered was the space between them. Matilda was no stranger to admiration, but when their eyes met, she felt something deep within her stir. A connection, an unspoken understanding passed between them. It was as though she had known him her entire life, yet they had never met until now. Ishor noticed the way Matilda's gaze lingered on him, felt the pull as well. He stepped forward with a graceful stride, and with a gentle smile he spoke. "Hello, foreign one," he said, his voice deep and smooth like the waves crashing on the shore. "I am Ishor, son of Ukko, the priest of the sea. You may call me Ishor." Matilda, still caught in his gaze, stammered, I'm Matilda. It's a pleasure to meet you." He nodded, his smile widening, and for a moment they simply stood there as if the rest of the world had faded. "Matilda," Ishor said, his voice barely above a whisper, "I've heard of you people. They say your faith is strong and your heart is pure. Tell me, what is it like to believe in something so powerful?" Matilda was taken aback by his question. She had never thought of her faith in such a way. It was simply a part of her, like breathing or walking. "It's like," she began, searching for the right words. "It's like being part of something greater, something that connects all of us. You can feel it in your soul." Ishor nodded, his dark eyes reflecting the depths of the sea. "I see. But I must confess, I'm curious about something else. Matilda, I have never met someone like you before. A foreigner with eyes like the sky and a spirit that seems different." Matilda felt her cheeks flush at his words. "I don't know what to say." "I don't need words," Ishor replied, softly. "I can see it in you. Your heart speaks louder than any words could." The moment stretched into eternity, and in that instant Matilda knew that she had found something extraordinary, something that could never be replaced. As the council deliberated and agreed to let Matilda and her mother spread their faith in Bansara, Matilda and Ishor's connection deepened. They found secret places in the forest, away from prying eyes, where they could be themselves. One evening, in the cool shade of a secluded grove, surrounded by the sounds of nature, Matilda and Ishor shared their first kiss. It was a kiss like no other. Their lips met gently at first, hesitant, as if both were unsure whether this moment was real. But then, as their hearts beat in synchrony, the kiss deepened, becoming a fusion of passion and longing. Matilda could taste the salt of the sea on Ishor's lips, feel the power in his touch as his hands caressed her cheek. The air around them seemed to hum, the world outside vanishing, and for that brief moment, it was just them, two souls intertwined, two hearts in unison. When they finally pulled apart, their breaths were raged like hearts racing. Matilda had never felt anything like this before. It was as if the earth itself had conspired to bring them together. But there was a problem. Matilda's mother and Ishor's father disapproved of their union. Ukko, the priest of the sea, feared that Matilda's faith would corrupt his son, and Teresa feared that Matilda's love for Ishor would pull her away from the life she had planned for her. Determined to be together, Matilda and Ishor made a decision that would change everything. They fled into the depths of the forest, building a small, humble home with wood they gathered from the trees. The first night they spent together, alone, away from the judgment of the world, was a night of passion and tenderness. They explored each other with a fierce, unspoken desire, and in the heat of their love, Matilda conceived. When the villagers heard the rumors, they sought peace. The king, seeing the love in Matilda's eyes and the commitment in Ishor's, decided that both religions could coexist. The people of Bansara would be free to choose their faith, and Matilda and Ishor were welcomed back into the village. Matilda's mother, although initially resistant, accepted her daughter's choice, and so did Ukko. They knew that Matilda had found something that no one could take away, and so did Ishor. So Matilda and Ishor lived together, raising their two children, one white like Matilda and one black like Ishor. Their family was a symbol of the love that transcended borders, races, and religions. Matilda and Ishor practiced their faith separately but peacefully, with respect for each other's beliefs. And so, they lived happily ever after, their love a testament to the idea that true connection knows no boundaries. Their love was a bridge, built not on common ground, but on the shared understanding that love in all its forms was the most powerful force in the world.